ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोर्श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरोर्नवैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सागररघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च। नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामये। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। जयतां सुरतो पंगो मौ मंदमतिर्गति मत्सर्वस्य पदाम्भोजौ राधा मदर मोहनौ दिव्य वृंदारण्यकल्पद्रुमादः श्रीमद्रत्नागार सिंहासनस्थो श्रीमद् राधा श्रीलगोविंद देवो प्रेष्ठालीभि सेव्यमानो स्मरामि। श्रीमान् रासरसारम्भे वंशी वटतटस्थितः कर्षन् वेणु स्वनैर्गोपी गोपीनाथ श्रियस्तु नः। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Welcome to reading Srimad Bhagavatam as Srimad Bhagavatam Katha, Srimad Bhagavata Katha Shatakam. So this is introduced. This is being conducted by Bhaktivedanta College of Vedic Education, Navi Mumbai, Maharashtra, India. So this is part of. This college is part of ISKCON Navi Mumbai, a Glory of Maharashtra big project is coming, and very shortly the big temple is going to be inaugurated. So this college has taken up a task of giving Vedic knowledge world over for advancing in the spiritual knowledge, advancing in the perfect balancing of life and achieving success in life. And also Sanskrit speaking, that one can learn Sanskrit within 3 months' time. They can speak very fluently, happily. They can converse in Sanskrit, and we give the knowledge of Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and the application. And we conduct research studies also in Bhagavad Gita. So it's going to be. It is a very unique platform where the Vedic knowledge is applied in all spheres of life. So at this very critical time of the world, we have taken up the task of giving. We have taken a important step towards invoking auspiciousness in the world by speaking Bhagavatam, entire Bhagavatam. So Srila Prabhupada has given entire Bhagavatam in 18 volumes, and very unique contribution and the most merciful contribution. He described Bhagavatam as India's message of peace and goodwill. So at this time of crisis, the whole world over, they need peace and also compassion. So it has come from the Bhagavatam. So we have been doing, and today we entered into the 24th day. So far we have completed. We have heard happily 74 stories in Srimad Bhagavatam. So today we are going to hear 4 more stories Today we'll be hearing 4 stories of Srimad Bhagavatam, and which will take our number to 78 by the end of day. We see that we have started already 10th canto Srimad Bhagavatam. We have started relishing Krishna's wonderful pastimes, and also we relished how he has shown the great spiritual world to the all Brajvasis, and when they aspire to see that. So we have learnt many intriguing secrets in this process of hearing the stories. Actually, normal story, any person's story, the very world famous story, it is only for recreation. It is only to give some recreation to the mind. Recreation is only to the mind. Recreation cannot be to intelligence. It cannot be to the soul. So that's why, because any ordinary story, whatsoever famous it is only recreation for the mind. But Krishna's story and Krishna's incarnation stories is not only recreation, it gives a intelligent path. It is a nourishment. It is a nourishment to the path also, and also it gives a perfect light to the soul. Really get delivered. So in the process of hearing Krishna Katha, we will shed all our anarthas, and also we get a great recreation to the mind, and also we get perfect intelligence, and also our soul. Sarvatma Snapanam, actually it is the real bathing to the soul. And as we discussed in one of the stories and one of the introductions, that the stories of Krishna, relishing Krishna story, is actually nourishment to the soul. So our nourishment to the soul and the spiritual life is hearing Krishna Katha, and it has been recommended by our great predecessors, acharyas, that simply who hears or glorifies Krishna Katha, all the pastimes of Lord Krishna, morning and evening, they will be free from all miseries. Dukkha gramat vimuchyate. So they all will be relieved from the great heap of miseries. That is power of. It is not for just a recreation, but it is completely rejuvenation, and that is beauty of that. And today we are going to happily hear 4 stories, and the first story being because everybody is interested to know the future. Nowadays, many people are interested. Oh, this regarding Corona, it has been told long back by somebody, like that, showing. Like that, the people are interested in knowing the future, but even we know the future, we cannot really control it. But here, there is a story comes in Bhagavatam 10th canto, that entire present and future pastimes of Krishna are happily described, which are going to happen, also narrated. So that is our first story, the narration of present and future pastimes of Krishna. So this is a very interesting story, that how everything is foretold about what Krishna is going to do. So now we know, Brahmaji narrated happily that Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha. So Lord Krishna is Satchidananda Vigraha. Actually, the Mayavatis, they don't consider that Krishna has a form or the Supreme Lord has a form. For them, everything is only light. So because everything, and of course they take the various stories as only some basis to talk about the Supreme, but ultimately they think, they speak, they feel that there is no form. The Lord is formless. Krishna, our Supreme Lord, is formless. Only to get our concentration fixed, we have to take initially some form and concentrate on that. And once our attention is fixed, you can remove that. And probably you'll come to know that you yourself is the God. So they, in that way, they go ahead and fall somewhere, and that is not our discussion at this point of time. But there are four sampradayas which give the perfect knowledge about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the first sampradaya is Brahma Sampradaya, that is which has started from the Brahmadev, and also then comes Sri Sampradaya, which started from Lakshmi, Mahalakshmi, and Rudra Sampradaya, which is started by Lord Shiva, and the Kumara Sampradaya, which is started by four Kumaras, Sanaka, Sanadana, Sanatana, Sanat Kumara. So these are the four standard lineages, paramparas. In that only we'll get the authentic information about Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. So in that we belong to Brahma Sampradaya, actually in that Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. So in that originally started by Brahma, and also connected to Madhvacharya, and from there to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's why it is Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. So in that we take the messages from which is coming straight away from the Brahmaji. So Lord Brahma has narrated that Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarvakarna Karana. So Sachidananda Vigraha means he has a form. So this form is essentially Sat Chit Ananda. So it is eternal, it is Chit means full of knowledge and full of bliss. So this Chit means the knowledge of present situation and the previous situation and the future situation. So that is means Lord Krishna says that Vedaham Samatitani. So I know past, present and future, and I know all living entities in the past, in the future, who are going to come and who are present now, but nobody knows me. So, and the beauty is that not only Supreme Lord Krishna know about it, even his staunch devotees or the devotees who are energized, Shakti-Avish, Avatar, the people also they come to know. So there is a nice story that the Brahmashi, Devarshi Narada, who is a staunch devotee of Lord Krishna, has foretold wonderful things about Krishna, what he is going to do. So that is the main story of our first one, and before that we will be moving to next. So the story, before going to that main story, we will be hearing few more. So here one day in Braj, we have seen many pastimes going on, and one day Shivratri came in Braj. So Nanda Baba and other devotees, because we see the Shivji is the main protector of Braj. Shivji is main protector of the Braj. That's why we see always, and also Shivji wants to come and participate in various Krishna's pastimes. And we see that even in the Nandeshwar Mahadev, we'll find that in Nandagaon also, we see Lord Shiva is situated exactly in front of Nanda Baba's house. So he wanted to take remnants of Krishna. So that's why, and he requested this Yashoda Maya that whatever Krishna eats, I also should get. So always he'll be waiting that whatever little Krishna eats, so the Shivji also takes. That's why he is known as Nandeshwar Mahadev. So like that, at various places, even Shivji wanted to participate in the Rasa Leela, means how he wanted to see that, he wanted to see. So he's called Gopeshwar Mahadev. So he has taken the form of Gopi form, and Anto wanted to see. So Lord Shiva is a part and parcel of Vraja pastimes, and he is known as protector. So the worship as a great protector, it is there from the very beginning. So Lord Shiva's Shivratri came one time. So Nanda Baba said, let's go to a place where Lord Shiva is there, very famous one. It's called Ambikavana. So they went, all the Brajvasis, not all, but many main people went, and they did fasting on that day, and they did not take anything except water. And they, with so many puja dravya, they worship with all so many worshipable items. They did it, worshipped, and they said that let Lord Shiva become pleased with us. So they prayed to Lord Shiva, and they wanted to. They talked about him. They also glorified Krishna and Balaram. And in the night, they all slept because they were fasting. They slept. They wanted to break the fast. Next day, they were all sleeping. Then, in fact, because they went to a pilgrimage place, they were sleeping outside. So suddenly, in the midnight, a big snake. Snake, don't imagine a small snake. Is like a python, not a real python. So python is very slow; it doesn't move. So it's a very big snake which can even swallow a person. So like that, a big snake came and straightaway came and caught hold of Nanda Baba and started swallowing him. So his legs already went inside, and suddenly he saw that something happening. So when it was night and there was only small lights are there, suddenly he saw a very big snake, and it was so much terrifying. Already it has all the legs of Nanda Baba are already gone into the mouth of the big snake, and immediately Nanda Baba started calling, "Oh, hey Krishna, Krishna, hey my dear son, the snake is swallowing me. Please come." He was just shouting, and suddenly when he was shouting, Krishna and Balaram were little away from that place, and all the people who are next to him, they woke up. They saw a big snake. So they are very fearful about the flame. So immediately they took some sticks, the fiery sticks, like torches they took and started beating the snake with that fiery sticks. From everybody trying to beat, but that snake was so adamant, so strong that it did not leave Nanda Baba. And Nanda Baba is shouting, and everybody is making effort to hit it and trying to burn it. But the snake was very adamant, and it did not move at all, and he started swallowing more and more inside. And within no time, Krishna came, and he came and kicked the snake. The moment he kicked, the moment his lotus feet touched the snake just disappeared. In the presence of that big snake, which was terrifying, was swallowing Nanda Baba, a great, beautiful person appeared. The person was with big ornaments, and he was effulgent, and he has a big mukut, and he was just bowed down to Krishna. He just bowed down to Krishna. So means what happened is that by touching the lotus feet of Krishna, that snake got purified, completely purified, purified not only from that. If any living entity is taking in the form of an animal or cruel, it is because of their sinful activity. Especially snakes, they are always very sinful, and everybody wants to kill them. Nobody, if you see snake, anybody first will think that you want to kill it. So because that earlier life, these snakes, they also always having enmity, and they were having grudge towards people, showing enmity, and always trying to be showing angry, and having very indifferent nature. So that's why they become the snake. So here when that is a very sinful life. So when Krishna touched the snake, immediately it has changed and it has got rid of all his sinful conditions. In fact, the person who came, he is a Vidyadhara. Vidyadhara Loka, you know that we have discussed during one of the stories. It is very closer to our, it is much lower than the heavenly planets, where even we have seen the story of Chitraketu when he was meditating continuously on the Sankarshana. He became the Vidyadhara. So that planet system is closer to our earthly planet, and he has become a Vidyadhara. and his name was Sudarshan. Sudarshana is a Vidyadhara, and he just bowed down and started praying to Krishna. He said that, "Hey Mahayogi, hey Mahapurusha, hey Bhaktajanada, I am your surrendered soul, and Sarveshwara, now please give me permission. Please give me permission so that I'll go back to my Vidyadhara Loka. And simply by touch of your lotus feet, I am freed from the curse of a Brahmana, because I was so much sinful person that because of my beauty and because of my opulences, I started making offense with some people, especially the Angirasa Gotriya Brahmanas. So because they were not so looking good, they are ugly, and I have just criticized, I just belittled them, and because of my offense, they have cursed me to become snake. But I am so fortunate that I could get your audience and touch of your lotus feet. And your name is so pious, your name is so much auspicious. Simply by hearing of your name itself, one gets purified. And then what talk about by really touching your feet? That's why I got really purified. And in that way, the Vidyadhara, the snake disappeared, and he went back. And all the Brajbasis were really got astonished seeing at the power of Krishna. And next day, the morning, they all really glorifying Krishna, and they came back to Vraja. This is one of the things where we understand. Means every time Krishna was demonstrating that he is a great personality, and really all Brajavasis were fortunate enough to experience Krishna's mystical power, and in that way he saved his people and also killed many miscreants who tried to misbehave. And the same thing happened once Krishna and Balaram were in the night time, they were moving with gopis jointly. They are moving with all in that middle of the Purnima time, full moon day. So when Krishna and Balaram was happily moving with gopis in the midst of the forest, and at that time the atmosphere was so good, so pleasing, and very cool, because always we'll find the moonshine. Moonshine is very, very cool. And of course, in the city we have forgotten the moonshine. Suddenly moonshine. Oh yeah. How moonshine looks? Because we don't say the full moon. So where is the question of feeling the moonshine? So, but sometimes we can remember in our childhood or in our villages how we experience the moonshine. Actually, if really you put in our childhood, we used to sleep on the terrace. So we used to feel very cool. So if you really put all your bed, everything in the moonshine, after 1 hour or something, you'll find that everything has become very cool, very cool. So that is the even Janardhan Das Thakur sings that Nitaye Pada Kamala Koti Chandra Sushitala. So the Lord Nityananda's lotus feet are like one Koti Chandra is like a moonshine of even 1 crore moons. Koti Chandra Sushitala, like that he says. So it was very happy mood. They were moving, and the beauty is that they were Krishna started singing. Krishna started singing nice because Krishna is a good singer. Actually, we see that Krishna is always expert in so many activities, so many talents. So he was singing very nicely, and of course he is not only a flute player, he is a good singer also. He is a solo singer. That will come to know when we read Bhagavatam, that he was singing, that people, all the gopis enjoyed, even Balram was also enjoyed. And when they were all happily spending time there, one appeared a miscreant. Actually, who is the assistant of Kubera. His name is Shankachuda. Shankachuda came here, and he did not understand the power of Krishna Balram, and with a force, immediately he started threatening all the gopis. And in such a way that he driven them out from Krishna Balram, and he started taking them towards northern side. And these gopis also suddenly did not, hey, Krishna Balram are there, why should we fear? So they did not get to that immediate conscious. Maybe they were in different mood or whatever. So when that person was threatening, they immediately started following, and this Shankachuda started taking all gopis away from Krishna Balram. And when they started doing, the gopis, then they started crying, hey Krishna, hey Ram, please come, this fellow is doing some great mischief and he is taking away. And at that time, Krishna and Balram took a big wooden logs. They have taken up a big wooden logs and started chasing the person. When Shankachuda found that ordinary people, they are really powerful, and he immediately left all gopis and started running away. Then Krishna said, okay, don't problem. He suggested Balram, okay, you please stay here. It's a night time, so take care of the gopis. I will take care of this demonic person. So means he is not a demonic. He is not a demon, but he is a demonic person, because he is the assistant of Kubera. Kubera is a demigod. So Kubera is a demigod. Actually, he is the treasurer of. But sometimes even in that also they feel they will demonstrate demonic mentality. And Krishna immediately chased him, went closer to him. As I mentioned many times, all these demonic people make big halla gulla, but it one punch they get finished. So Krishna went closer and gave a punch to him, his head, and his head got broken and he fell down. But the Shankachuda is having some speciality. So in his head there is a good powerful money, as a diamond was there. He said, okay, no problem, I got some good gift also. So he took from his head the good gift and came back and gave it to his Balaram friend. Okay, my dear brother, I got one gift for you. So he has given. So it's very interesting that Krishna always is fond of giving gifts also. Even at one time we'll discuss also, the gift system is introduced by Krishna. Always he gives gift, provided you ask. But the moment you ask, he will give you. But if you don't ask anything, he will not give anything. The choice is yours. And there is one more very interesting pastime of Lord Krishna, which its effect can be seen now also. It's almost 5,000 years. So for example, this Shankachuda, you can't see, you can see it's the narration only in Bhagavatam. Or Bakasura, he has killed, so we can't see anything here. And Kaliya Nag, so you don't see the Kaliya Hrada there. But there is a pastime connected to Krishna, which we can experience now also. That is the beauty. So that is the story here. One Kamsa sent by a great demon came. His name is Aristasura. Aristasura, he came in the form of a very, very big bull. The bull was having a big hump on his neck, and is so much fearful. With so much force it came, with shouting and roaring. So it is like a roaring one. When all the cows and other bulls, because Braja is full of cows, thousands and thousands of cows and bulls, and when they saw first time all the cows and bulls and calves, they saw it's a gigantic bull running, and all these cows in the Braja got scattered. And even all the Brajvasis also become so much fearful that, oh my God, this is such like a very huge and gigantic bull is rushing and running with, and when it's moving and the earth is almost moving and they're full of dust going up everywhere. And Krishna became very much disturbed. Why this fellow is disturbing the peaceful condition of Braja? He felt that, and the bull was coming, and Krishna exactly stood on its path, and with a said, "Why you are disturbing the peaceful condition of Braja?" He also said, and that bull came with so much force to Krishna, and the moment it came, he just caught hold of the both horns so swiftly, so sharply, and he almost he pushed it almost 18 feet behind. It came with so much force, but he caught hold of it. Any ordinary person or anything with that force cannot really withstand. So he not only withstood the force of that just by holding the big horns, and pushed it that 18 feet it went, and it just went back and fell. And the Aristarchus could not even imagine that he would experience such type of a big defeat. And when it fell down, because it's not that he kept on pushing, no. He just pushed in such a way that 18 feet back it went and fell down. And that with so much anger, so much frustration, again the Aristasura again jumped up, and the whole body was sweating, and he again came back with same force to Krishna. And like this time Krishna again caught hold of his horns and pushed it down. He did not push it back, he pushed it down. And as anybody would do, that if any cloth is wet, if you want to remove the water, you will squeeze it. So he put it down and he squeezed the body. Just imagine. He squeezed the body. So the moment he squeezed, just imagine if a body is squeezed, what will happen? And the bull is so big, and how mystically Krishna did is only the point of contempt. When he squeezed it, and within no time, the Aristasura left his body, and he vomited the blood from his nose and mouth, and he has passed stool and urine, and Krishna did not leave that. Actually, he has broken one of his horns, and with that he beat him, and in that way the Aristasura is dead. And when Aristasura was so much fearful, that's why all the demigods from the heavenly planets started showering flowers on him. And when this incident took place, all gopis came, Radharani all came. Oh, so far you have been killing the crane or something like that, etc., etc. But this time you have killed one bull, so you got Gohatya. So we will not. So please go. So unless you go to the entire all the pilgrimages, all the rivers, good pious rivers, you should take bath and come. Otherwise, we are not going to touch you. All the gopis said. Krishna said, why I will go? There is no need for me to go anywhere. I will invite all the pious rivers here. I will take bath. There is no need for me to go everywhere and take bath. Then he immediately with his heel he touched the earth, and immediately a big pond was made, and all the rivers appeared in that, and that is called Shyamakund. So Krishna said, okay, I am going to take bath in this, and I will be freed from the Gohatya. Like that he went and took bath and said, you see, now I became purified, so I have no more any sin. Then he started teasing Radharani and other people. Okay, but I have not seen you doing any pious activities so that you will have a piety built up. So whereas you see I have taken bath, you have not taken any such thing. Like that he started. Then Radharani also became, okay, we also will invite all the pious rivers, we also take bath in that. So all the Radharani and gopis, they with the hands they have dug a beautiful big pond, and at that time when they are making efforts, the Tirtha Purusha, actually it's called, is in charge of all the Tirthas, the Sakala Tirtha Purusha came and paid obeisance to Radharani. Oh, mighty Radharani, can all we come and enter into your most pious kunda? He said, okay, no problem. So one by one, all the Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati, Kaveri, Narmada, Sindhu, all things came and entered into the Radharani's, and they all took bath. And they also said, you see, now we are more pious than you. Then Krishna said, yes, you are correct. You are Radha Kunda. Your Kunda is very famous, and now onwards I'll come every day and take bath in this. From now I'll come and take bath in, and as you are very dear to me, this Radha Kunda is also very dear to me. So Krishna has given. So we can see Radha Kunda and Shyam Kunda now also, which is connected to the wonderful pastime which is connected to Krishna. And this happened 5,000 years before, and 500 years before, when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to Vrindavan for the first time. He was searching, oh, where is Radha Kunda? Where is Radha Kunda? He was asking everybody, where is Radha? Nobody knows, because everything got lupta, means it went away from the eyes. So Radha Kunda, where is Radha Kunda? So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asking, because he is Krishna himself. He was searching for Radha Kunda. He wants to introduce to the whole world. So he was searching, and nobody knows. And but he knows. So he went to a place which is full of basically a field, paddy field. And he went and saw a small pond, very, very small pond, water. Oh, this is Radha Kunda. He went and took bath. In that way, he again discovered the Radha Kunda, and afterwards his disciples, Raghunath Das Goswami, other people, dug out the Radha Kunda, then Shyama Kunda. So in that way we can, because of the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it has come back for a human being's vision, and everybody become very happy. And now also all the devotees go and they take bath and they become very happy. So, and we'll see when this Arishtasura killing is over, at that time Narada Muni went to Kamsa's palace and Kamsa's courtyard, and he told whole thing. My dear Kamsa, for whom you are searching, you are not aware, is actually Vraja. He told whole story. Who has killed Putana, who has killed. So now the Kamsa became very clear that his enemy is in Braj, and he is Krishna Balram. And this 8th son is basically Krishna, and the 7th son is Balaram. All this information became very clear. Then he said, okay, let me send a very, very, very powerful demon. And he decided, there's a demon called Keshi demon, you go and see that both are killed. And also he made a further plans that I will invite Krishna and Balaram to Mathura and see that they are killed in my presence, in case they miss out, in case Keshi miss out, to kill them. In that way he made a big plan, and Keshi, by the order of Kamsa, went to Braja in the form of a big horse. The big horse. That's why it is very, this Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan are very interesting. Sometimes they come in the form of bull, sometimes in the form of snake, sometimes in the form of horse, sometimes in the crane. All the demons said, oh, Krishna has killed one old horse and old bull and old snake. Like that, the common man think like that. But from the narration we can understand that how these demons are even having, they created fearfulness. They created a fear even in the demigods. They are so much powerful at that time. So the Keshi demon came running with braying, so much braying that everybody really become fearful. He was also equally fearsome like the Aristasura. And the horse came, and this mane was like a cloud, very big. And when the horse was coming, Krishna just stood on its path with the two hands on his waist, and that horse came and immediately hit on Krishna's chest with its the front legs. And at the moment it hit Krishna with his front legs, he caught hold of the two legs, and swirled it and thrown it far away. And that when it fell far at distance, it is actually mentioned that it is very, very far distance. But somehow the Keshi again got up and came with more force came. But this time Krishna did a different. And this time the Keshi demon came as if he wanted to swallow Krishna, because he put a mouth so big as if he's coming to suck Krishna inside. So Krishna allowed the Keshi demon, which is in the form of a horse, allowed him to come closer. The moment he came, he put his hand inside the mouth. A different technique of killing. Nobody could imagine that somebody can put hand inside and kill. Anybody would say that to hold his neck or something like that. But Krishna put his hand into the mouth. Because mouth was so big, he was about to swallow Krishna, and he has put hand. So hand went inside, but one should not be imagined, okay, Krishna hand may be small, though. So he's a big mistake. The moment he went inside, it looked like a iron hot rod going inside. So the moment his hand, which was a red hot, appeared, felt, all the teeth of the horse, they fell down. And the hand went inside, and Krishna started expanding his hand so that it has filled all his entire nervous system was completely broken, and his intestines and his breathing system, everything got choked. Krishna expanded his hand so much and made it big, and his breathing completely stopped. And he just fell down. And his eyes just came out, and he started, and he could not even breathe. And the Keshi started pushing and pulling his legs vigorously, and within no time, within few seconds, he left the body, and Krishna again took back his hand. That's very happy. No blood, nothing. Simply. This is called mystic power of Krishna. He did it. What happened inside, only the Keshi knows, only the Vyasadevji knows. That's why he said it's been very hot inside. So nobody outside could not imagine how this fellow died. Krishna has put on his hand and the fellow died. That is external. But only Keshi knows how difficult it was. And and the Vyasadevji knows what Krishna's mystic power. So because this Keshi was a very, very strong demon, a very fierce demon, all the demigods become very happy to see that this demon is dead. This is the last attempt made by Kamsa, the last demon who came to kill Krishna from the Kamsa side. So now Krishna is going to really go to Kamsa and do the needful. So the Keshi was the last demon. So at that time, Narada Muni came to Krishna. So first of all, Narada Muni went to Kamsa and told that Krishna is ready. And now he came to Krishna and started praying that, Hey Krishna, Aprameya, Yogeshwara, Jagadishwara. So you are there in everybody's heart as super soul, witness. And for everything, whatever is happening, you are the eternal witness. And this Keshi demon is so fearful to everybody that everybody used to fear, but you have killed him very easily. Even the demigods used to run away from him. But now we have seen that he left his body within no time. and you have killed him so easily. And I am going to witness in next 2 days time, you are going to kill a Kuvalaya Pida, a great elephant you are going to kill, and you are going to kill Chandura Mustika, and you are going to kill Kamsa also. And also we are going to see that you are going to kill very soon Kalayavana, Mura, Narakasura, Shankadhanava, and you are going to really steal the Parijata Vriksha from the heavenly planets. You will defeat Indra, and also you will take away so many princes, and you will marry, and also you will marry, you will get Shamantakamani, and also you will marry the great beautiful great woman. And also you are going to bring the dead son of your spiritual master from the Yamapuri, and you are going to burn the Kashipura also, and you are going to kill Dantavakra, you are going to kill Shishupala, and you are going to perform unlimited great activities in Dwaraka, and finally you are going to act as a chariot driver of Arjuna. Thereby you will eliminate the entire burden of the earth, and these all wonderful pastimes I am going to witness. So he has given a complete picture till end. He has given a complete prediction. It's called the present and future prediction of, you just imagine. Not one person say, okay, COVID is coming, only one say. After that, what is going to happen? No, that I don't know. So, but here Narada Muni is telling you, from what is, in next 2 days, what is going to happen, what, till last moment. This is called the perfect prediction. And in this way, the Narada Muni has given a beautiful pastime. So he has given complete picture and waiting those things to happen. And one more demon came, but he has not been sent. One Vyomasura came, but Krishna killed him very, very easily. So there ends our first story, that present and future predictions, the pastimes of Lord Krishna.